All right, we're recording. All right, man. Sunday, the 15th. Got my boy Chris, aka TD Waddle, in here, man. I appreciate you joining me, sir. Especially through the technical difficulties, man. We'll get through this.
Yes, sir.
How you doing this Sunday, brother?
Chilling, bro. Tired.
Chris, man.
Yeah. We went out for our boy Nick was out there as well. Went out to social something social in Delray, but it was pretty cool. Almost had to fucking beat somebody up, and I'm not a fighter like that, but
it was like that, bro?
they got disrespectful. So I just kind of wanted to go over there and be like, yo, we're like, what's good? And his girl she was like obnoxious, and I'm like, I'm not trying to talk to you, I'm trying to talk to him. I said, we're good, but you're making it worse. But long story short, somebody just grabbed me and just pulled me away, but it was just nonsense. But yeah, I'm chilling, bro.
That's what's up, man. So Chris, man, you were this is your second season. First year, man, you did something new in the league that I definitely unprecedented in the high society, bro. You were one half of a team. And man, I was genuinely surprised at the cohesiveness that you guys had, bro. I know that you guys were boys and stuff, but still, bro, like that was, I honestly didn't think that it was going to go well. And not only did it go well, but you guys came out 8-6, bro. What do you have to say about that?
Well, I'm happy, but I'm not happy because my goal was to come in and be that new guy, just win the whole fucking thing. And I felt like I had the team to do it. It's just that COVID hit. And, when you lose Kelsey and Hill, in a week, and then hope to get him back, and you get one of them back, and then he kind of has like a COVID game where maybe his lungs weren't underneath him, and you lose. And it sucks because I really felt like I had a team that could fucking put up monster numbers, and it just, when it came down to it, just didn't happen. But I was proud, bro. The team that I was inherited was atrocious. Like literally, I was like, wow. And somehow we turned it into an amazing team. And me and John, we worked together really well. Like it was kind of just like basically like, we would feed each other ideas, or like, I would kind of set something up and I would run it by him, and he'd be like, oh yeah, that sounds good, let's do it. I'm like, all right, let's do it. So it was just, it was easy, but yeah, it was definitely, last year was just I really did. I really thought I was coming in here to take y'all belt.
I mean, like, bro, you inherited a shit squad, to say the least. Give me a second. I'm trying to pull it up right here, man. So you had a roster with Cam Newton, Miles Sanders, David Johnson, AJ Brown, which I'm sure was, let's check what AJ Brown's price at the time was, 35. So that's a decent price. Not bad, man. Curtis Samuel, Gesicki, I appreciate you, sir. Austin Eckler. Pretty much, man, Austin Eckler to round out a fucking roster filled with Joey Bosa, Jakeem Grant, Bud Dupree, Kenny Galladay, who fucking sucked dick and let everybody down, Kenyon Drake's bum ass. And your assets were that this team was so fucking bad that I believe you had a top 5 pick. On top of all that bullshit, the only thing I can see here of value, bro, is AJ Brown and Austin Eckler at, let's see, $39. So that's the only 2 favors that this man did for you, bro. And you managed to switch that team, who fucking ended with a season of 4-9, to get to 8-6, bro. I gotta definitely commend you for that, bro. Like you came in here, you guys definitely shook things up. I remember a lot of people were talking mad shit, didn't think that you were gonna make it this far. And
yeah, bro, I got told that I was going to be the doormat of the league because of the trade that I made, because I traded a rookie draft 5th pick for adding, I guess, what would be on some people's team, maybe like three players that take up their whole, cap. And yeah, I remember all that. And that just made me want to beat the hell out of everybody. That's just what it was. It was like all the nonsense talk. I was just like, all right, I'm smarter than you and I'm going to show you. And I mean, I'm not saying that with, assholeness behind it. I'm just being like everybody is in this chat. We all talk some shit. So, but,
Bro, we don't feel we're smarter than the other one, low key. We want to think that our move is going to be better than the others.
I grew up on football, man, and I don't know what it is. I feel like I have just like an eye for like certain things, like just like talent and shit, and what I think is going to be good. And I don't know. I just kind of put it together. Like I really don't have like a set like way I do things. It's just kind of like it comes to my brain, and I'm like, all right, is this a good idea? Is this guy going to fit? I just kind of go with it. That's kind of how I live. Just go with it.
Respect that, man. Looking at your team now, bro, again, it doesn't even reflect how your team was last year, man. You got yourself Tyreek Hill, stud, man, wide receiver 6. And then you have the number 1 pick, the number 3 pick, and the number 7 pick, man. Like you're looking pretty good. What do you see?
And I just added 2 seconds and a third.
And you just added a second and a third. Yes, you did.
2 seconds, yeah.
What was your opinion on giving up Michael Parsons, man? Like, I mean, you definitely pushed the envelope. I personally felt I can see your trade was justified, man. I don't think it was wrong. I personally wouldn't have done it just because of the 204. I felt the 204 was high enough that you can get something for it, man. I think you won that trade, but 2 seconds and a third for a fire ass linebacker who can possibly play linebacker and DL and a second round pick. Like I don't think that's a bad trade. I think if he balls out like the way he did it, it's worth it. I think it works for both of you guys. But what made you?
It does, and
that was a cheap stud.
What made me do that? Honestly, because there's talent. I feel like a linebacker. You just gotta get who's hot at the moment, man. Like honestly, Parsons was good, but I have guys on my roster now, like Kazir White and Holcomb from the Washington. They both average more than him, and that's kind of what I'm going off of. It's just average there, and what's to say I'm not going to run across one in the draft that I like that can give me similar numbers.
When I was talking,
I like young talent, and I understand being a rookie sometimes. You're not going to get maybe the starting time right away unless you're like a star. But I don't know, man. I just think the league's changing. A lot of this draft is a very deep draft. It might not be like full of fucking superstars, but there's going to be a lot of good guys, and I feel like a lot of guys that are going to be starting right away as well. So I'm not worried about next year's picks and drafts yet until the season goes. Once that goes, then I'll worry about that then. That's kind of what I did this season. I went into this offseason having, I think, just your pick, and that was it. And I turned it into like 7, 5, 6 picks or something. So it's like I'm not worried about that. But yeah, man, I'm ready for this rookie draft. And I'm ready for the redraft. I'm in I'm trying to long-term my team. Last year was kind of a all in, mindset. This is now for longevity. So, I'm gonna keep some guys that I feel like, I like. Doesn't matter the price, and then kind of build cheap around them, kind of.
Is that reading between the lines saying that you're keeping Tyreek?
I don't know, maybe. Take it as you like.
You gotta get something, bro. You gotta get something. So listen, when I was talking to Kamal was telling me, man, that he values running backs high, right? And then the next thing we talked about was the tight end position. When you construct a team, is there any like when you're constructing your team, man? What's your ideal position? What do you look? What
Uh,
do you? I know you. So you said that you like youth, man. But what position do you look for?
oh, I think in fantasy football itself, the highest scoring positions are wide receiver and running back. So it's got to be those two.
Najee Harris or
That's
Jamar Chase?
um. hmm, Yeah, it's. I'm gonna go. Damn, you're gonna make me say this shit. I'm gonna
Yeah,
go.
man.
I'm gonna go Jamar Chase just because they've somewhat fixed their line. It all depends on the line. If the Bengals line is a lot better and it gives Joe Burrow time, then it might be trouble. Chase could be that dude. I don't trust the Steelers' offensive line, so that's the reason why I'm going Chase. But do I love Najee Harris? Hell yeah! If I could have him, bro, trust me, that dude is a monster. He's gonna be a monster. It's just they gotta give him an offensive line.
I agree. I agree. I'll be hearing that, King. I'll be hearing that
Yeah.
out there.
Oh,
All right, man. So what do you feel about your prospects for your Dolphins, man? Realistic.
I'm being realistic, bro. I feel good, bro. Jalen Phillips, Javon Holland, these boys are like you see a massive jump in Phillips with sacks this year. I think he finished 8 sacks last year or something like that. But bro, we just added Melvin Ingram today. We have Ogba. We got well
So where do you see the team going? Playoffs?
I well, I mean, we've been scratching the surface the past 2 years under no offense at all. Like no offense. How are you supposed to know what you have in some of these guys when you don't have weapons? It's this year you gave Tua weapons, and I feel like you're going to see a drastic jump from Tua this year. You're going to see I definitely think playoffs, like wild card for sure. Do I? My goal, I mean, my want would be to win that and go to divisional. If we lose there, hey, that's an upward trend for me. That's all I want. I just want to see us keep going up, and eventually that time will come. But we are building a fucking squad right now. Like I am so excited for this season to start. Like if people can stay healthy, like Taron Armstead, Connor Williams, whew, like Raheem Mostert, that's a dark horse for me. If that dude is healthy, that dude's a monster, bro. That dude runs.
Raheem Mostert. How do you feel about Mostert? Raheem Mostert.
Gotta stay healthy.
Running back of the Dolphins. Talking about the Dolphins right now. I'm opening the floor to the very only two Dolphin fans in like the whole.
It depends how our O line is going to be. If our O line holds up, you'll be all right.
Our O-line holds up 100%. If guys work out that we drafted and that we're supposed to play other positions and can fit over, like say Austin Jackson can be your right tackle, yo, that's huge. You a pick that you thought was going to be a bust now turns into a good, a good player because he's in a scheme that fits him better than what we were in before. And then on top of that, you're putting him around, veterans that are on the line that help him. And that's where he was actually better the year before when he had Eric Flowers next to him. Like, some people need veterans next to them. Some people, like on top of that, we have a way, way, way better staff. Like our coaching staff is like beyond light years better because we had nothing on offense these last few years. We were literally a chicken with our head cut off.
Dude, Johnson had a couple games at the end.
Yeah, no, he did. But look, why did it take so long to get to that? You know what I'm saying? Like we see that shit in practice. We should see it in practice, but it's just these dudes didn't know how to like see talent. They didn't have any type of offensive schemes. Like the offensive line were like doing some shit where they were holding each other's shoulders, and like I don't know, it was just a mayhem. And now you're under somebody that is a brain, like Mike McDaniel. you ever hear the man speak? You hear his football IQ? Like the dude is a fucking genius,
I honestly never heard him talk before, bro.
bro.
Yeah,
You know,
dude.
listen.
I never.
After this shit, let him go explain to you a play. Like, look it up, bro. There's so many sound bites on fucking YouTube of him explaining plays.
Better
Bro,
than Flores.
you're gonna come back to me and you're gonna be like, Chris, okay,
Better than
like,
Flores.
oh, way better than Flores, bro. I'm not like Flores is like, bye. He's with the Steelers linebacking core.
Okay, that makes sense. I'll give you the floor to see of anything you want to say to the league. How do you feel your prospects? Anybody that you're floor is yours. Any trade you want to shout out? Anybody trades?
Anybody you don't like?
Anybody you don't like?
Listen, the thing about the league that's funny is that everybody inflates the league, you know, with everybody's numbers, makes their numbers go up and all that shit. But then they complain when it's time to trade. Oh man, this guy's good, but man, his cap's too high. And like, you know, like
Yeah,
last
Mike,
year,
he's calling you out, Mike.
yo,
Mike C.
bro, last year's
Playing
cap,
players, bro.
last year's cap was like, you know, that a lot of shit was high, but now like 17 point, you know, or $17 is high. It's like, yo, like what do you want? You want a running back at like fucking $12? Like you're not gonna get it. You're like, you guys like to run the price up the fucking 60s and 70s. Everybody could have a fucking great team if you guys just like balanced it out. But you know, that's where your brains come in. You know, like
But that's strategy, bro. This is I hear what you're saying, but that's just strategy, bro. Why would I not want to make you waste your wallet on that player, bro? That's less money that I have to compete with against you, bro.
Sometimes it's just like the number that you guys get it to is obnoxious. That's where it's at. Like if you're getting guys in the 70s, 80s, 90s, like fucking Saquon Barkley, $100 and something. Like what the fuck? Like
you got to remember that's also with the increase to keep them, you know. So, but also again, then that's a strategy, bro. Then that becomes a 1-year rental. Are you willing to spend that money like you spent all that draft capital to get Tyreek Hill, bro? You were willing because you wanted that run, right? I want this player. How bad are you willing to pay for him, dog?
You got Travis Kelce too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I did.
Fucking Kansas City offense.
Where's the chances he stay on?
I did. But they put up points. That's why I went out.
Already. You dropped Kelce already, right? You dropped Kelce and Mahomes already.
Damn.
I did.
Going right back to you.
Yep.
We'll see. I'm leaving myself some cap so I can get in on this draft. And I'm also, you know, banking on some young guys to do well. But, you know, I got Jalen Waddle, who to me might have a Jamar Chase like year this year.
Bro? Fuck that, dog.
Tyreek
Fuck that noise, bro.
is going to have a team.
If he does,
Tyreek is going to have the double team. And now that's leaving Jalen Waddle on your second corner with one-on-one coverage. Like Jalen's going to be a beast. Like you weren't able to see real Jalen Waddle last year because we didn't have a line for them to hold to where he can get a post or, you know, or a corner.
His production was volume, bro. Volume. Now all that volume is going to be divided in half, thirds, quarters. Now you got pass catching running backs. Like I agree that he will get more quality looks. I do not disagree with that. He's now getting the second best coverage because the best deep coverage is going to be on Tyreek Hill, right? Possibly the best first and second going to be on Tyreek Hill. So now you're definitely in the pickle.
And on top of all that,
I get that, bro, but I just do not think that
they have track, like stupid fast.
I mean, yeah, it's gonna be off a bunch of slants and screens and shit.
Yep, and with athletic linemen pulling and getting ahead of these guys with a full head of steam. Like imagine seeing Taron Armstead taking out a linebacker and then a fucking safety, you know, with the rest of the offensive line with, you know, let's say like Chase Edmonds or Tyreek Hill, Lynn Bowden, any of these dudes. You know, bro, the team is loaded with fucking athletes. they're all fast and they're all like, or they have a high motor. They don't go down easy. They don't go down on the first hit. Like these dudes are fucking like, I'm not saying the Dolphins are fucking God. Like, that's my team. I love them. I love to see that, we're getting better, but we're definitely taking steps in the direction to not be a joke. You know what I'm saying? And I don't think the Dolphins are ever bad. We're mediocre. We're even every year. You know what I'm saying? We're just a basic team. You know what I'm saying? But I think we're trying to get past that shit and finally build a team. Like I really feel like this offseason is like insane. Like if we can land Akeem Hicks or JC Treader, like bro, we still have $19 million to spend. Like they're getting people on their deals, not what they're waiting. Like Dolphins are going to be a team that's serious. They're playing catch up with all these, these teams like the Raiders that are bringing in Adams, the Chargers bringing in Mack and fucking.
All those teams have better quarterbacks.
Listen, but you don't know how do you know what you have in Tua, bro? You've never given him weapons. You've never given him a running game. You've never given him an offensive line. You don't know what you have in him. You could judge him after this year, and if he sucks, then yeah. But I bet you after this year, you're going to be saying something totally different. You're going to be saying you have a quarterback because you have weapons. I'm telling you, bro. Like you can't look what Josh Allen did. Josh Allen, it took him 3 years to get good, and they were bringing in weapons as the time. Like, bro, not everybody comes in and is fucking Patrick Mahomes right away. Like that shit doesn't happen.
When our backup was starting last year, Brissett, didn't it seem like we had more down the field options when he was at quarterback than Tua?
I mean, honestly, look up who got sacked more. Brissett got sacked more than Tua. Tua doesn't get sacked. Tua makes plays. Like he'll move and make a play, but the problem is, bro. Like I'm telling you, look what he did. Look what he did at Alabama with weapons, right? Look what he's about to. He's gonna do the same thing. And on top of that, when we got
injury.
yes, okay, perfect. That's what I was just going into that right now. So with his hip injury, so I'm in this like chat on Twitter with his actual trainer. His name's Perform. His name's Nick Hicks. He's been training him this whole offseason, getting him stronger. Like if you look at him, bro, he's a lot leaner. The zip on the ball is like back. They worked on footwork. They worked on his hip twists and everything. Bro, he was coming back from a career-ending hip injury. Mm-hmm. Like, dude needed time to rehab. Like his first offseason was a rehab. Like he didn't get to touch the weights. He didn't get to do anything. And on top of that, he got thrown in like 4 weeks earlier than he should have. He should have been thrown in.
I'm not gonna lie, that was weird.
I think after our bye week, but our bye week got moved up that year because of COVID. Because I think the Patriots and Broncos couldn't play a game. They had to cancel it and move it back. So it fucked up our schedule. So that was their goal, or their plan was to start Tua after the bye week after week 11. But he came in a lot earlier. And on top of that, Flores didn't like Tua. Tua was not a Flores pick.
Trash quarterback.
He's not, bro. I'm telling you. Listen, you'll be able to say that after this year. I will allow you to say it if he sucks after this year, but you have to give this year a chance because he was given what he was needed to succeed. Name me a quarterback that's good that doesn't have any weapons, any O-line, and no running game.
Deshaun Watson?
A1 Tom Brady?
No.
Deshaun Watson, he was still killing it with a bad team.
Deshaun Watson?
Okay, they made it. I think they made it to the playoffs one year, and then the rest of those years they weren't that good.
Spoken like a true Dolphins fan.
No, listen, bro. I'm being serious. Give him this year, and I'm telling you, your mind will change. I promise you that he's fully healthy this year. He's fully healthy, and on top of that, he has weapons. He has. I'm not saying the O-line is done yet, but he has a way better O-line than he did last year. On top of that, you might see big jumps in players that we drafted that weren't good under the last coaching staff because They just didn't know how to get the best out of their players. You know, Mike McDaniel, I'm telling you, bro, after this, I'm reminding you now, watch video on him and you're going to be surprised on like, you're going to think the dude is a cool dude. And bro, the dude's brains are like, dude's smart as hell.
We'll look it up, man. But Mr. TD Waddleman, I appreciate you, dog. It was a pleasure.
Yes, sir.
Look forward to seeing you this season, man. You
Yes,
enjoy the
sir.
rest of your afternoon, sir.
Thank you. You too. You guys have a great one.
You too, brother.
Peace.